When Kakarot's pod first landed on Earth, the old man who found him Gohan thought he'd found a miracle, a little baby with a tail, crying and clenching his fists in the cold morning air. But what Gohan didn't realize, what nobody realized, was that this child wasn't like the others. This wasn't just any Saiyan. This was something else entirely. The first signs came early. Unlike the usual story where Goku hit his head and softened up, this time the impact didn't just knock out his mission programming. It cracked open something deep inside him, something savage, something primal. Goku still laughed and played like a normal kid sometimes, but there were nights when the whole mountain shook with his cries. Nights when Gohan locked the doors and prayed to whatever gods would listen that the boy wouldn't lose control. The Saiyan wasn't just strong, he was growing. Every time Goku fought a wild animal, every time he got hurt, something inside him responded, adapted, mutated. It wasn't training, it was survival, natural instinct, a power that bloomed from pain and rage, feeding off the chaos around him like it was second nature. By the time he met Bulma, Goku was already terrifying in his own quiet way. He didn't need to train to lift boulders 10 times his size. He didn't need lessons to sense when danger was close. His instincts were razor sharp, and when he got serious, truly serious, his energy spiked wildly, uncontrollably. During their adventure for the Dragon Balls, it showed itself more than once. When Yamcha ambushed them in the desert, it should have been an even match. Instead, Goku barely flinched when Yamcha launched his Wolf Fang fist. The first punch shattered Yamcha's wrist. The second sent him flying through 2 stone pillars, unconscious before he even hit the ground. Bulma was stunned. She saw the innocent smile Goku wore after the battle, and the destruction he left behind. For the first time, she wondered if maybe this kid wasn't just strong, maybe he was dangerous. Master Roshi noticed it too. When Goku came to train, Roshi knew he had raw talent, but this wasn't raw talent. This was something darker. There were times when Goku got frustrated during training, when he couldn't land a punch, and in those moments, his power spiked. His eyes gleamed gold for a split second. The ground cracked under his feet. It was like he was always one push away from snapping. During the 21st World Martial Arts Tournament, everyone finally saw it. When Goku fought Nam, the match started friendly enough. But when Nam landed a hard blow to Goku's chest, an attack that would have knocked out any normal fighter, Goku's body reacted. He stopped smiling. His breathing deepened. His aura exploded outward in a violent shockwave that knocked half the audience out of their seats. His muscles bulged slightly, his hair stood up wilder than before, and his power level, if anyone could have measured it, doubled in an instant. Nam never stood a chance. Goku rushed him so fast that the judges couldn't even see the movement. One punch to the stomach, and Nam was unconscious before he hit the ground. The crowd went dead, silent. Even Roshi, watching under the guise of Jackie Chun, felt a cold sweat drip down his back. This wasn't normal. This wasn't Saiyan. This was something worse. Later that night, when the tournament ended, Goku sat alone under the stars. Still buzzing with energy he didn't know how to control. Bulma approached him cautiously. She asked if he was okay. Goku just smiled and nodded, like everything was fine. But deep down, he could feel it. There was something inside him. Something awake, and it wanted more. Elsewhere across the galaxy, 2 ancient beings stirred in their sleep. King Vegeta, looking over battle reports from across the stars, noted something strange. A Saiyan pod had landed on a backwater planet called Earth. And the power readings from that sector were unnatural. And far beyond them, deep in the realms of the gods, Beerus the Destroyer turned over in his slumber, frowning faintly. A ripple had passed through the universe, something old, something dangerous. Goku didn't know it yet, but soon he would not just be Earth's greatest hope, he would be its greatest risk. And if he couldn't control the monster inside him, so no one would. Training with Master Roshi was supposed to teach Goku control, patience, discipline, but nobody could have predicted what it would actually unleash. At first it was simple stuff, carrying milk cartons up mountains, swimming from sharks, running with heavy shells strapped to their backs. Krillin struggled and whined the whole time, but Goku laughed. He was a natural. Every task seemed too easy for him, like his body wasn't even breaking a sweat. Roshi kept stacking on more weight, piling on more obstacles, trying to slow him down, and that's when it happened. One morning, under the blazing sun, Roshi ordered Goku and Krillin to race each other while carrying twice the usual weight. Goku took off like a rocket, a blur of dust and raw speed. Krillin tried to keep up, but barely made it 10 feet before collapsing face first into the sand. Goku didn't slow down. In fact, the longer he ran, the faster he got. His footsteps cracked the earth beneath him, leaving small craters behind. His breathing deepened into heavy growls. The muscles in his arms and legs tensed so hard that the weighted shell on his back started to crack apart. When he crossed the finish line, there was a sonic boom that shattered every window in the nearby village. Roshi stood there, mouth wide, open, his sunglasses sliding down his nose. That night, while the others slept, Roshi sat on the porch staring up at the stars, thinking. He had never seen anything like this. This wasn't just strength, it was transformation, pure primal evolution. He was raising a Saiyan. But this was no normal Saiyan. Something deep inside Roshi whispered that one day, if Goku lost control, there wouldn't be a mountain tall enough or a sea wide enough to contain him. Goku, meanwhile, slept fitfully, dreaming of strange, violent things, of battles against giant monsters, of planets crumbling under his fists. He woke up drenched in sweat, his heart hammering, but by morning he was smiling again, carefree, ready for breakfast. It was during the next tournament that things really blew apart. Goku had entered the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament with ease. Most fighters didn't even make it past the preliminaries once they saw the wild-haired boy in action. Word spread fast. This kid was a monster, stronger than anyone had a right to be. By the time he faced Tien Shinhan in the finals, the whole world was watching. The fight started normal enough, with exchanges of rapid punches and ki blasts. Tien was incredible, fast, deadly, precise. But it wasn't enough. Goku was holding back without even realizing it. When Tien landed a solar flare and blasted Goku into the tournament wall, something inside Goku snapped. He stood up slowly, his hair wild, his breathing deep and ragged. His eyes glowed faintly gold, and then it happened. A shockwave erupted outward, tossing the audience back, shattering the arena into rubble. The sky itself darkened. Goku let out a roar, primal and deafening, and his body bulked up slightly, not like the elegant, controlled transformations of later Super Saiyan forms, but raw, violent, unstable. His ki crackled around him, wild and furious like a storm, trying to tear itself apart. Everyone froze. Tien took a step back, real fear flashing across his face. Roshi stood up from his seat immediately, ready to intervene. But Goku smiled through the storm. Not a kind smile, not a playful one, a hungry one. Tien rushed in, fists blazing, but it was hopeless. Goku barely moved, dodging every blow effortlessly, his body moving on pure instinct. One elbow strike to Tien's chest, and the fighter was knocked out cold. Goku stood there in the center of the shattered arena, his golden aura still burning wild around him. Nobody cheered. Nobody even moved. In the crowd, Yamcha leaned toward Bulma and whispered, "That's not normal, that's not human." And Bulma, eyes wide with fear, could only nod. Goku walked over to Tien's unconscious body, knelt down and poked him once on the forehead, curious like a child. His energy finally began to settle, his body shrinking back to normal, the golden glow fading into the evening sky. The tournament. Officials hesitated before raising his hand as the winner. Goku just smiled innocently, looking around, wondering why everyone seemed so scared. But somewhere deep inside him he knew. He knew something was wrong. He just didn't know how much longer he could keep it caged. Goku didn't know it yet, but Earth was already trembling under the next storm coming for it. Far away, King Piccolo had been revived. Freed from his ancient prison, he wasted no time reclaiming his throne of terror, spreading chaos across the world like a poison. Cities fell, heroes died. The world's strongest fighters crumbled one by one under his cruelty. And in the middle of it all, the boy named Goku, Earth's supposed savior, was about to face his greatest test. The news came fast. Krillin was dead. Goku found his friend's body lying cold outside the tournament arena, the Dragon Ball prize. Stolen from his side. Something broke inside Goku that night, something beyond sorrow, beyond anger. He stood there silently for a long time, fists clenched so hard his nails cut into his palms, blood dripping onto the stone floor. The ground around him trembled faintly. Street lamps flickered. Cars rocked on their wheels. Bulma and Master Roshi approached slowly, feeling the electric tension in the air. "Goku," Roshi said carefully, "we need to stay calm. Whoever did this..." He didn't finish, because in that moment, Goku's aura exploded outward without warning, blasting everyone back. His hair flared wildly upwards, streaked faintly with green. His pupils shrank into thin slits, like a wild beast's. This wasn't sadness, this wasn't grief. This was pure, unfiltered rage. The dragon radar in Bulma's hand cracked from the energy pressure alone. Without saying a word, Goku launched into the sky, a golden comet streaking toward King Piccolo's last known location. He didn't wait for a plan. He didn't care about backup. He didn't think about consequences. All he could see was Krillin's lifeless face. All he could feel was the fury roaring inside his blood. It didn't take long to find them. King. Piccolo and his minions were already tearing through another city when the sky above them exploded. They barely had time to react before Goku dropped from the heavens like a meteor, smashing into the ground hard enough to crack the entire plaza. Piccolo turned in time to see the boy, no, the beast, standing there, muscles twitching, aura burning, eyes wild. He laughed. "Another runt come to die?" Goku didn't answer. He charged. The first punch shattered one of Piccolo's elite soldiers into the pavement, literally. No scream, no struggle, just impact and silence. The others rushed in, but Goku didn't. Slow down. His body moved with a savage rhythm, reacting before thought even formed. Every attack they threw missed by inches, and every counterattack he landed crippled them instantly. Piccolo narrowed his eyes. Something wasn't right. This boy, this power. It wasn't natural, it wasn't trained, it was like fighting a living explosion. When Goku finally stood alone, the corpses of Piccolo's minions scattered around him like broken toys. The old Demon King stepped forward, clapping slowly. "Impressive," he sneered, "but you're still just a brat." Goku's breathing deepened. His body swelled again, his energy spiking wildly. The ground at his feet shattered with each step forward. "I'll kill you," Goku said, his voice low, growling like a wild animal. "You hurt my friends. I'll destroy you." Piccolo smiled cruelly and raised his hand, charging a blast meant to erase Goku in one shot. But he never got the chance. Goku was already there, fist burying itself into Piccolo's stomach, with such force that the Demon King vomited blood immediately, his body folding over the boy's tiny fist. Piccolo flew backward, crashing through multiple skyscrapers before skidding across the earth like a rag doll. He struggled to get up, coughing, his body screaming in pain. "What? What are you?" Goku stood over him, aura still roaring, every breath steaming from the raw heat radiating off his body. "I'm Goku," he said, "and you're finished." Piccolo, desperate, used every dirty trick he knew, energy beams, illusions, summoning monsters, but none of it mattered. Goku bulldozed, through everything like a force of nature, adapting mid-battle, growing even stronger with every passing second. The final moment came when Piccolo tried to fly away, wounded and terrified. Goku caught him mid-air by the ankle, slammed him into the ground, hard, again and again and again. The earth cracked, mountains trembled, shockwaves rippled across the land. By the time Goku finally let go, King Piccolo was barely conscious, broken beyond recognition. And for a brief moment, Goku stood over him, breathing heavily, muscles twitching with rage, the primal part of him still hungry for more. He could finish it right now. End Piccolo, wipe him from existence. But somewhere, buried deep under all, the anger, a small voice whispered. Krillin's voice, Bulma's voice, Grandpa Gohan's voice telling him to stop. Shaking with the effort, Goku finally turned away, letting Piccolo's broken body slump into the dirt. He had won. But at what cost? As he flew back toward the others, Goku didn't notice something small and sinister rolling out of Piccolo's broken mouth, a small, dark egg. And somewhere in the shadows of the universe, forces far greater than King Piccolo had begun to take notice of the boy called Goku, not because he was a hero, but because he was a threat that one day might destroy everything. Years passed. The world healed from King Piccolo's terror, but the fear never fully left the hearts of those who saw what Goku had done that night. Master Roshi kept his fears to himself. To the others, Goku was still the cheerful, clueless boy they all loved. He ate too much, trained too hard, smiled too wide. But Roshi knew better. He saw it in the boy's eyes sometimes, late at night, during training. That twitch under his skin, the way his energy pulsed when he thought no one was looking. Goku was still getting stronger, too strong, too fast. It wasn't normal, even for a Saiyan. It wasn't just talent. It was mutation. Evolution on a scale that terrified even an ancient martial arts master, and Goku couldn't control it. Not really. He hid it well most of the time. He laughed, he joked, he trained with friends. But Roshi saw the cracks. Whenever Goku got pushed too hard, whenever he faced a real challenge, the same thing happened. His energy snapped loose like a wild animal breaking free from its chains. His strength exploded, multiplying mid-fight without warning. His body adapted instantly to any new technique thrown at him, copying and countering almost by instinct, alone. It wasn't training, it wasn't strategy, it was survival instinct, pure and savage, and it scared the hell out of Roshi. He started whispering warnings to the others, to Bulma, to Tien, even to Kami, high above the world in his lookout. If Goku ever loses himself completely, if he ever stops holding back. Nobody wanted to finish that sentence. Nobody dared. But the universe wasn't going to wait for Goku to figure things out. One quiet evening, a spaceship ripped through the skies over Earth like a burning spear. It landed in a smoking crater, and from it stepped a man with spiked hair, a scouter pressed to his face and a cold, cruel smile. Raditz, Goku's brother, the first of many shadows to fall over the Earth. Goku, now a young man, arrived at the crater with Piccolo trailing behind him. Yes, Piccolo. Even after their brutal fight, Piccolo had sensed something bigger was coming, something even his evil couldn't handle alone. They watched as Raditz explained it all, the truth about Goku's origins, the Saiyan race, the destroyed planet Vegeta. At first, Goku just stood there, stunned, trying to wrap his head around it. He wasn't human, he was a Saiyan, a warrior bred for destruction. Raditz laughed, pointing at Goku's tail, mocking him, mocking the way Earth had made him soft. And, in that moment, something inside Goku snapped. It wasn't anger this time, it was betrayal, confusion, an avalanche of emotions crashing down on his fragile mind. His aura flickered wildly, crackling green and gold, the ground around him crumbling into dust. His hair bristled upwards as if trying to tear free from his scalp. Raditz's scouter beeped frantically, power level readings shooting through the roof. What the hell? Raditz muttered, backing away, real fear flickering across his face for the first time. Piccolo stepped back too, sensing it. The beast was waking up again, and this time it was worse than ever before. Goku's fists clenched so hard that blood dripped onto the cracked earth. His breathing grew deep and ragged. His muscles swelled, his veins bulging under his skin. He wasn't thinking anymore. He was reacting. Raditz rushed in, hoping to end it quickly. Big mistake. Goku caught him mid-charge, gripping Raditz's wrist so hard that the bone snapped with a sickening crunch. Raditz screamed. Goku lifted him effortlessly into the air, swung him over his head, and slammed him into the ground so hard that a small crater formed beneath them. Raditz tried to fight back, firing a ki blast point-blank into Goku's chest. The explosion engulfed them both. When the smoke cleared, Goku stood there, barely scratched, his aura now a swirling maelstrom of gold-green and savage white light. Raditz gasped for breath, staring up at him in horror. You're a monster, he croaked. Goku didn't respond. His instincts screamed at him to finish the job, to tear Raditz apart, to eliminate the threat. It was only Piccolo's voice, yelling from the sidelines, that broke through the haze. "Goku, don't lose yourself." For a brief second, Goku blinked, confusion flashing across his face. His grip loosened slightly, his aura dimmed, and Raditz, ever the coward, took the chance to blast away, flying into the sky and vanishing into the clouds. Goku stood there panting, trembling, feeling the raw chaos inside him still clawing to be let loose. Piccolo approached cautiously, keeping a safe distance. "You're not normal, Goku," he said quietly. "You never were." Goku said nothing. He just stared at his hands, the same hands that had nearly killed his own brother without hesitation. Something was wrong with him. Something that even he couldn't deny anymore. And far across the galaxy, two more Saiyans, Nappa and Vegeta, watched Raditz's scouter feed with growing amusement. "Looks like little brother's been hiding some power," Nappa laughed. Vegeta smirked, arms crossed. "Interesting," he said, "very interesting." "If that freak's this strong," Nappa said, "maybe we should just blow up the planet and move on." Vegeta shook his head slowly, a glint of excitement in his eyes. "No, I want to see this Kakarot for myself." And with that, the two warriors rocketed toward Earth, ready for the fight of their lives. But what they didn't know, what none of them knew, was that Kakarot wasn't the same boy who grew up on Earth. He was something else now, something worse. And when they arrived, they might not find a hero waiting for them. They might find a monster. It didn't take long. The sky ripped open again as two pods screamed down toward Earth, slamming into the ground like meteors. Dust and fire billowed into the air, and from the smoke, two figures stepped out. Nappa and Vegeta. The Earth's warriors were already gathered. Tien, Yamcha, Chiaotzu, Krillin, Piccolo, all standing shoulder to shoulder, nervous energy running through the group. But Goku wasn't there yet. He was still high above, sitting cross-legged on a cliff overlooking the battlefield, eyes closed, breathing deep, fighting himself more than anything else, fighting the rage inside. King Kai had tried to teach him calm, to guide him through spirit and technique. But Goku's body was something ancient and wild. It craved battle like oxygen. Every heartbeat, every breath, it whispered to him, "Fight, break, win." And today it was going to be harder to ignore that voice than ever before. Nappa cracked his knuckles, grinning wide. "Look at these clowns. You really think they can stop us, Vegeta?" Vegeta barely spared them a glance. His arms were crossed, eyes scanning the horizon. "No," he said coolly. "They can't." Nappa didn't wait for orders. He launched forward with a savage laugh, and in seconds chaos erupted. Tien rushed forward first, striking Nappa with everything he had, but it barely made the brute flinch. Yamcha, Krillin, even Piccolo joined the attack, throwing everything they could muster, and it wasn't enough. Nappa swatted them away like insects, roaring with laughter. Buildings shattered, craters formed with every step he took. In minutes, the Earth's best warriors were bloodied, bruised, and gasping for. And just when it seemed like all hope was lost, a low rumble filled the air. The sky darkened, the ground vibrated. A pressure wave swept across the battlefield, knocking Nappa slightly off balance. "What the hell?" he muttered, turning to the source. High on the cliff, Goku stood, aura blazing like a second sun. His hair flickered wildly, his eyes glowing a fierce, unnatural gold-green. His body was tense, trembling with restrained violence. He wasn't smiling, he wasn't laughing, he wasn't joking. He looked like a bomb about to go off. Goku floated down slowly, his boots touching the cracked earth without a sound. His presence alone was enough to make even Nappa hesitate. Vegeta's scouter beeped furiously, readings fluctuating so wildly that the device exploded in a small burst of sparks. "Tch," Vegeta muttered, tossing the broken scouter aside. "Kakarot, what have you become?" Nappa, unfazed by anything that wasn't a direct punch to the face, charged forward with a battle cry, fists swinging. Goku didn't even move at first. He let Nappa come to him, and then, the instant Nappa's fist was about to connect, Goku disappeared, a blur. Before anyone could blink, he reappeared behind Nappa, planting a single elbow into his spine with a sickening crack. Nappa roared in pain, stumbling forward, and Goku didn't stop. He attacked like a storm, fists and kicks raining down with machine-like precision and monstrous force. Every hit echoed like a cannon blast, pushing Nappa further and further back. The ground shattered under their feet. Air itself screamed from the pressure. Within moments, the mighty Nappa, the elite warrior who had destroyed entire planets, collapsed onto one knee, coughing up blood, his armor cracked and broken. The Earth's fighters stared in stunned silence. They had never seen Goku like this, not even close. He wasn't fighting to defend, he wasn't fighting to win, he was punishing. Vegeta watched carefully, his usual smirk replaced with something harder to read. "Get up," Goku said coldly, voice rough from the barely controlled power surging through him. "I'm not done yet." Nappa, furious, desperate, charged one more time, pouring every ounce of ki into a massive explosion, trying to end it all at once. The blast engulfed the battlefield, blinding everyone. But when the smoke cleared, Goku stood there, untouched, unbothered, unforgiving. His aura pulsed brighter now, wild golden flares mixed with that strange, sick green. His muscles tensed. His eyes glowed brighter. He moved, one blow, a single casual punch to Nappa's gut, and Nappa dropped like a stone, unconscious, broken beyond repair. The Earth fighters stared in awe and fear. Goku didn't even glance at them. He turned, his gaze toward Vegeta, standing across the ruined battlefield. "You're next," he said quietly. Vegeta chuckled, a low, dangerous sound. "Good," he said, stepping forward, cracking his knuckles. "I was hoping you wouldn't be boring." And, as they faced each other, two Saiyan warriors born of destruction and survival, the ground trembled. Somewhere far away, Kami watched through his staff, eyes wide with terror. "This isn't just a battle," he whispered. "It's a collision between two monsters, and there was no telling which monster would survive." The air between them was electric, vibrating with barely contained destruction. Vegeta grinned savagely, his aura burning bright blue as he powered up, shaking the heavens with his raw ki. Goku stood there, motionless, the chaotic golden-green energy swirling tighter around him, pulsing with every beat of his heart. Two Saiyans, two monsters, one battlefield. Vegeta launched forward first, vanishing from sight with pure speed. A fraction of a second later, he appeared in front of Goku, throwing a punch aimed directly at his jaw. Goku caught it, with two fingers. Vegeta's eyes widened in shock, but he barely had time to react before Goku twisted his arm, flipping him effortlessly over his shoulder and slamming him into the ground hard enough to split the earth open. Vegeta roared and blasted upward, spinning through the air, firing a volley of ki blasts at Goku. The sky lit up with explosions, craters forming around the battlefield like raindrops hitting mud. But Goku moved through it all without a scratch, weaving through the blasts like a ghost, eyes locked on Vegeta with a cold, brutal focus. Vegeta growled, realizing he had no choice. He had to take it up a notch. With a yell, Vegeta powered up into his full strength, a brutal, refined Super Saiyan form, hair golden, aura sparking furiously. The force of his transformation leveled the nearby forest, sending shockwaves through the planet. For a moment, Goku paused, head tilting slightly like a predator sizing up new prey. And then, his own body responded, not by choice, by instinct. Goku's aura exploded outward again, blinding and chaotic. His muscles bulged even more, his eyes glowing brighter, wild energy radiating off him in violent, uncontrollable waves. His hair flickered between black and gold, like it couldn't decide what to settle on. The air around him distorted, warping from the sheer pressure of his power. Cracks formed in the ground for miles around. The sky itself dimmed. Reality around Goku shivered. Vegeta gritted his teeth, feeling his own instincts screaming at him to run. His Saiyan blood knew. It recognized what Goku had become. Not a warrior, not a rival, a force of destruction. And for the first time in years, Prince Vegeta felt real fear. But he swallowed it down. He was the prince of all Saiyans. He wouldn't run. He attacked, fists flashing like lightning, each blow shaking the air. Goku responded without thinking. Their bodies blurred into a chaotic dance of fists, knees, elbows. Each impact shattered the sound barrier, sending out sonic booms that leveled everything nearby. At first, they seemed evenly matched. Vegeta landed a brutal knee to Goku's ribs. Goku countered with a hammer fist to Vegeta's spine, but it didn't last. Goku's body evolved. Each second of the fight, his strength adapted, grew, mutated. He learned Vegeta's moves faster than Vegeta could switch them. His blows hit harder, his reflexes sharpened, and Vegeta started losing ground. Each punch from Goku now cracked his bones. Each kick sent him flying further. Each block felt like trying to stop a mountain. Vegeta roared in defiance, firing a final flash point-blank into Goku's chest, pouring every ounce of his energy into it. The beam engulfed Goku completely, a blinding spear of energy lighting up the ruined wasteland. The Earth's fighters watching from afar gasped, some collapsing from the sheer shockwaves, when the blast finally faded. Goku still stood there. Steam rose from his body, his GI torn and tattered, skin scratched and bloodied slightly, but he was smiling. Not a kind smile, not a Goku smile, a monster's smile. Vegeta barely had time to blink before Goku moved. One punch. A single, brutal punch to Vegeta's gut. Vegeta's breath left him instantly, his body folding over Goku's fist. He was thrown backward, skipping across the ground like a stone across a lake, crashing through mountains and leaving a trail of destruction behind him. Goku floated forward slowly, power leaking out of him in thick, heavy waves. Reality itself bent slightly around him now. His energy wasn't just leaking into the air, it was ripping tiny cracks through space and time. The gods watching from Otherworld, King Kai, the Supreme Kai, they felt it too. This is unnatural, King Kai whispered, hands trembling. That power, it's not supposed to exist. Back on Earth, Vegeta struggled to rise, coughing up blood, his limbs trembling. He looked up at Goku and saw not a warrior but a force, a cosmic accident wrapped in a Saiyan body. I won't lose. Vegeta gasped, forcing himself upright, blood dripping from his mouth. I am the prince of all Saiyans. Goku's response was simple, a nod, almost respectful, and then he powered up even further. The earth shook, the sky cracked with dark lightning, rivers boiled. The world itself groaned under the pressure. This wasn't a battle anymore. It was survival. It was instinct. It was Goku's true nature, unleashed. And the universe wasn't ready. Vegeta wiped the blood from his mouth, staggering to his feet, barely able to breathe under the crushing weight of Goku's energy. He had one option left, one desperate primal move. He looked up at the shattered sky, finding the artificial moon he had created earlier, the glowing ball of energy floating high above the battlefield. A cruel smirk tugged at the corner of Vegeta's mouth. You may be strong, Kakarot, he said, voice ragged but proud. But you forgot one thing. You're a Saiyan too. Vegeta raised his arms toward the false moonlight. Goku paused, watching curiously, the primal part of his mind perking up at the sight of the glowing orb. Some ancient instinct stirred in his blood, and then Vegeta transformed. His body swelled, bones cracked, muscles expanded. Fur sprouted across his skin, and in moments the proud Saiyan prince stood before Goku, not as a man but as a titanic great ape. The ground shuddered under the beast's roar, the shock waves flattening entire forests nearby. Vegeta, in his great ape form, glared down at Goku with burning red eyes. His power skyrocketed, shaking the planet's core. From afar, Piccolo, Krillin, and the others could only stare, helpless. This is bad, Piccolo muttered. Vegeta's great ape form is easily 10 times stronger than before. Krillin gulped. Can Goku even beat that? But what they didn't understand, what nobody understood, was that Goku wasn't normal. He wasn't just a Saiyan, he was something more. And right now, facing the massive wall of fury that was Great Ape Vegeta. The beast inside Goku answered. His blood boiled, his muscles twitched violently. The Broly-like mutation inside him, always simmering, finally snapped. Goku let out a howl, something between a scream and a roar, and his body exploded with light. Golden energy ripped out of him, spiraling upwards into the sky like a volcanic eruption. His hair surged upwards, wild and untamed, flickering between black, gold, and green. His eyes burned fiercely, pupils shrinking into slits. He didn't transform into a great ape. He became something else entirely, the primal power of the great ape, condensed into his humanoid form, wrathful berserker Goku. Even Beerus, far away across the cosmos, snapped awake in his sleep, feeling the disturbance ripple through existence. Whis peered into his staff, eyes wide with curiosity. My, Whis murmured. It seems Saiyans have truly become fascinating creatures. Back on Earth, Goku stepped forward, the ground disintegrating under his feet with each movement. His energy alone cracked mountains in the distance. Vegeta roared, stomping toward him, each step shaking the earth. He slammed a massive fist down where Goku stood. The ground exploded, but Goku was already gone. He reappeared above Vegeta's arm, his fist pulled back, glowing with blinding energy. With a roar, Goku slammed his punch into Vegeta's wrist. The sound was like a bomb going off. Bones shattered. Vegeta screamed in pain, clutching his mangled arm. But Goku didn't stop. He moved like a force of nature, tearing through the great ape's defenses, striking nerves, joints, weak points. Every hit shook Vegeta to his core. Every second, Goku's power kept growing, adapting, evolving. It wasn't just rage anymore. It was pure instinctive survival. Vegeta swung wildly, desperate, but Goku weaved through the attacks effortlessly, his body moving faster than light itself. Finally, Vegeta made one last desperate move. He opened his mouth, charging a planet-destroying energy blast. The beam fired, a massive column of searing energy capable of vaporizing everything for miles. But Goku met it head-on, not with a blast of his own, not with a technique, with his bare hands. He caught the blast. The shockwave obliterated the land behind him, ripping up oceans and forests in a straight line that circled the globe. But Goku held firm, gritting his teeth, forcing the beam backward, step by agonizing step, and with a final monstrous roar, he hurled the energy back at Vegeta. The blast smashed into the great ape's face, engulfing him in an explosion that turned the night into day. The earth shook violently. Tsunamis erupted in distant oceans, clouds parted in the atmosphere. When the light faded, Vegeta lay in a massive crater, his body battered and burned, his great ape form shrinking back into his normal Saiyan body. He was unconscious, defeated, broken, and Goku stood above him, panting heavily, his aura still, wild and crackling, the ground quivering under the sheer pressure of his existence. But something was wrong. He couldn't stop powering up. The rage, the energy, the instinct, it refused to settle. Piccolo, Krillin, Tien, all watching from a distance, felt it too. "Goku," Krillin whispered in terror. "He can't control it anymore." The earth cracked beneath Goku's feet as he struggled to stay conscious, to stay himself. But deep inside, the Broly mutation laughed. The power craved more battles, more destruction, and unless something or someone stopped him, Earth might just lose its greatest protector, because Goku wasn't fighting an enemy anymore. He was fighting himself, and he was losing. Goku stood there swaying slightly, his body steaming from the raw, uncontrollable energy ripping through his veins. The battlefield was silent. No birds, no wind. Just the crackling sound of Goku's raging ki, ripping through the air like a storm about to consume everything. Vegeta lay unconscious in the crater behind him, completely beaten. The other Z fighters watched from a distance, frozen by fear. Piccolo stepped forward cautiously, sweat dripping down his face. "Goku, listen to me. You need to calm down." But Goku didn't hear him. His mind was a battlefield now, images flashing violently behind his eyes. Krillin's death, Piccolo's betrayal, Raditz's lies, Nappa's arrogance, Vegeta's challenge, all of it mashed together into a roaring, blinding rage. He wasn't Goku anymore. He was instinct. He was survival. He was fury. The earth cracked further under his feet. In the distance, volcanoes erupted spontaneously, reacting to the chaos bleeding into the planet's very core. King Kai screamed into the heavens from his tiny planet. "You idiots! Someone's got to stop him now, or the whole Earth's going to collapse." And then, a flicker of light, a ripple across space. Another power appeared on the battlefield, gentle, calm, ancient. Everyone turned to see a figure floating down from the sky, staff in hand, robe flowing gently despite the chaos around him. Mr. Popo gasped. "Kami." No, it wasn't Kami. It was Whis, the angel of Universe 7. He floated down, smiling that same small, unreadable smile he always wore, as if none of this chaos concerned him at all. Goku turned, sensing the new presence, his golden-green aura flaring even higher, like a wild animal recognizing a bigger predator. Whis floated closer, observing Goku with mild curiosity. "Interesting," he mused softly. "Such raw potential, such unfiltered power, no restraint at all." Piccolo shouted across the field. "Can you stop him?" Whis tilted his head slightly. "Stop him? I suppose I could." Goku roared and charged, the very air distorting around him as he launched. Forward faster than light itself, Whis didn't even blink. With one delicate move, he sidestepped Goku's attack, tapping him lightly on the forehead with 2 fingers. A soft ding echoed across the battlefield. And instantly, Goku's body froze mid-charge. The roaring aura snapped out like a flame doused in cold water. His eyes rolled back. His body collapsed into Whis's arms, completely unconscious. The earth sighed in relief. The skies cleared. The mountains stopped trembling. It was over. Whis floated gently back to the ground, laying Goku down carefully, like a sleeping child. Krillin, Piccolo, and the others ran over, their bodies still, trembling from the aftershocks of what had almost happened. Is he okay?" Krillin asked, voice shaking. Whis smiled softly. For now. His body simply overexerted itself. It's remarkable he lasted as long as he did, without tearing himself apart. Piccolo knelt beside Goku, watching him breathe, softly, peacefully now. That power, if he ever loses control again. Whis nodded. Indeed, he could destroy this world and much more. "But he's still Goku," Krillin said stubbornly, clenching his fists. "He'll learn. He always does." Whis chuckled lightly. "Perhaps. But make no mistake. This boy is not like other Saiyans, not even like the one called BROLY. His mutation is unique, dangerous." He looked up at the broken sky. "And there are other beings out there who would love to use such a creature for their own ends." The Z-fighters exchanged worried glances, but for now the danger had passed. Earth was safe, and Goku slept soundly, unaware of just how close he had come to destroying everything he loved. Far across the universe, on a desolate world, another pair of eyes watched through a crystal orb. A cold smile formed on a familiar face. Frieza. "Interesting," he mused, tapping one clawed finger against his chin. "Very interesting indeed." He leaned closer to the orb, studying Goku's unconscious form. "A Saiyan,"